Hello friends, I am Astha. Welcome to Brainy Buddy channel. Okay, today we'll discuss some very important physics question and it's our fourth series and we have some very selected past year questions for CDM exam. Okay, this session will be very helpful for you because any competitive exams that contain the physics section, okay, like NDA, CDS, FCAT, okay, so these questions will be very helpful for them. Okay, now without any further delay, let's get started. Okay, so our first question is, consider the electromagnetic radiations having wavelengths 200 nanometer, 500 nanometer and 1000 nanometer. Which of the following wavelengths can make visual sensation to a human eye? Okay, so basically this question is about the ranges, okay, the ranges of what? Visual sensation. Okay, light has a spectrum and that spectrum is divided in what? Ultraviolet, infrared and visible light. So basically the range of visible light wavelength is what? 400 to 700 nanometer. Okay, so in our options we have option C, okay, 500 nanometer, because it lies under what? 700 nanometer. Okay, it lies in the range of what? Visible light spectrum. Okay, that is why option C is the correct answer for this question, because 500 nanometer wavelength can make a visual sensation to a human eye. Okay, now let's move to our next question, that is, the optical phenomena that is primarily responsible for the observation of rainbow on a rainy day is. Okay, so it's a very beautiful question as it's about the very splendid and very beautiful phenomena. It's about the rainbows. Okay, we all have seen rainbows after a rain, okay, in a rainy day. So basically this phenomenon is responsible for what? Okay, why this occurs, why we can see rainbows in a rainy day? Okay, it's because of the very important phenomena that nature shows us, and that phenomena is dispersion. Okay, we all have seen dispersion. Okay, dispersion. So basically what is dispersion? Dispersion is a what? Splitting of white light. Okay, we all have done the experiment of prism, like we when you take a prism and you pass a light through it, okay, white light through it, then you can see the whole spectrum, okay, whole wavelengths, a lot of wavelengths you can see of colors. Okay, so the what happens in it? White light splits in it, okay, into a different wavelengths, okay, distinct colors, so you can see the whole spectrum. That is why this phenomena is seen in what? Nature, and it is responsible for forming a rainbow. Okay, so option C is the correct answer for this question. Now let's move to our next question, that is, which one of the following statements is or are not correct? Okay, so these are some statements. Okay, we have four statements and whole four statements are about cathode rays. Okay, so let's see. The cathode rays originate from cathode and proceed towards the anode in a cathode ray discharge tube. Okay, so yes, what is basically cathode ray tube? Okay, cathode ray tube is a vacuum tube. Okay, that contains what? It contains one or two electron guns. Okay, it has electron guns because you know that cathode ray contain what? Negative charge, and electrons are negatively charged. Okay, so basically they are nothing, just a running electrons. Okay, so yes, the cathode ray originate from a cathode and yes, proceed towards the anode in a cathode ray discharge tube. Okay, it's the correct. Okay, so it's not a correct answer. Now, the television picture tubes are nothing but a cathode ray tubes. Yes, because basically cathode ray tube is used for displaying images. Okay, so television picture tube is nothing but a cathode ray tube. So yes, this option is also correct. Now the cathode rays themselves are not visible. Of course, cathode rays are not visible. We cannot see cathode rays because they don't lie in that spectrum. Okay, and our fourth option is the characteristics of cathode rays depend upon the nature of gas present in the cathode ray tube. No, okay, this characteristic of cathode ray is not correct, and that is why it is the correct answer for this question, because the characteristic of cathode ray never depend on the nature of gas. Okay, it does not depend at doesn't matter that what kind of gas present in a cathode ray tube. Okay, they won't disturb the running of electrons. Okay, so option D is the correct answer for this question. Now let's move to our next question, that is, in total internal reflection the light travels from. Okay, so we have four options and we need to find that what happens in total internal reflection. So basically, what is total internal reflection? Total internal reflection is a complete reflection. Okay, simply it's a complete reflection of a ray of light, okay, within a medium. So basically when light travels optically to a denser medium to a rarer medium, okay, in total internal reflection, okay, simply light travels from what? Optically denser medium to rarer medium. Okay, and what is denser medium? Okay, denser medium comparatively to rarer medium contains a large number of molecules, and rarer medium will contain small number of molecules. Okay, so here we can see option D, that yes, it's the correct answer, because in total internal reflection, okay, light travels from what? Denser to rarer medium. Okay, and it occurs with a loss of intensity. Okay, it's just very simple phenomena that we know that when light is reflected, okay, from denser to rarer medium, then half part, okay, half reflected part goes back. Okay, जो there's a partially reflected part that goes back to the same medium, and there is partially refracted part, okay, that goes back to the second medium. Here there occurs a loss of intensity in a light. Okay, basically it's a brightness. So when light travels from a denser to rarer medium, okay, it will also lose its intensity. Okay, so option D is the correct answer for this question. Now let's move to our next question, that is, light travels in a straight line. Okay, and this statement does hold if the medium of travel of light is. Okay, basically this question asks that if we want light, okay, if we want our ray of light travel in a straight line, okay, if we want its path to be rectilinear, then what medium we would use? Okay, it's very simple question, because rectilinear propagation means what? The light travel in a straight line. Okay, we need to make the path of light straight, and it only occurs in what? Homogeneous and transparent medium. Okay, why? Because the molecules of homogeneous medium, they are arranged properly. Okay, they are not randomly arranged. Okay, so that is why homogeneous medium will be perfect for the straight line. Okay, for the rectilinear motion of light. Okay, and you have seen the phenomena of making shadows, okay, and eclipse. They are the natural phenomena that occurs due to the rectilinear propagation of light. Okay, because we all know that the light that comes from the sun to the earth, it travels in a what? Straight line. That is why it's able to form shadows and eclipses. Okay, so option C is the correct answer for this question. Now our sixth question is The spring constant of a spring depends on its. Okay, it's a very simple and concept based question. Why? We have seen springs, and its spring constant depends on a material of a spring. Okay, and it also depends on its thickness and length, and as well as what, diameter. Okay, so option D will be the correct answer for this question, that the spring constant depends on its thickness, its diameter and its material, whole three things. Now, okay, it was very simple question. Now let's move to our next question, that is the pressure exerted by a 760 column of mercury at 0 degree centigrade is known as. Okay, just a simple definition of what? 1 atmospheric pressure. Okay, so the value of atmospheric pressure on a surface of the earth at a sea level. Okay, how we measure the 1 atmospheric pressure? We measure the value of atmospheric pressure at the surface of the earth at a level of sea. Okay, this measurement is called the 1 atmospheric pressure. Okay, and it's also called the barometer pressure. Okay, as 1 atmospheric pressure exerted by 760 column of mercury at 0 degree centigrade. Okay, so it's just basically a definition based question. Okay, so option B is the correct answer for this question. Now let's move to our next question. Okay, which is, which one of the following statements is not correct? Okay, so we have the 4 statements as our 4 options, and we need to find which statement is not correct. Okay, we don't have to find the correct statement, we need to find the statement which is not correct. Okay, so let's see. The response of the ear to sound of increasing intensity is approximately logarithmic. Okay, yes, it's correct. Okay, now the sensitivity of a human ear does not vary with the frequency of the sound. Okay, this option is not correct. So yes, basically this will be our right answer, because the sensitivity of human ear depends upon what? Frequency of sound. Okay, we can only hear the sound that ranges between what? 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. Okay, above this range you cannot hear a sound, because it's what? It's ultrasound. Okay, ultrasonic, and between this range you can hear the sound. And okay, our next option is when 2 or more waves traverse the same medium, the displacement of any element of the medium is algebraic sum of displacement due to each wave. Okay, yes, it is correct. So option B will be the correct answer for this question. Now let's move to our next question. Okay, and our 9th question is, in a bipolar junction transistor. Okay, it's about what? It's about transistor. So basically transistor is a 3-dimensional what? Semiconductor device. Okay, it has a N type and P type doping. Okay, and let's see our options. In a bipolar, we should know that in a bipolar junction, okay, base has the least concentration of impurity. What is impurity? It's just nothing, it's what? Doping. Okay, so, and yes, we can see here option D will be correct, because as we know that the base has the least concentration of impurity in what? In bipolar transistor junction. Okay, now let's see our next question, that is, okay, the SI unit of mechanical energy is. Okay, it's a very simple and concept based question. Okay, so what is mechanical energy? It's nothing, it's just a sum of kinetic and potential energy. Okay, so we all know that the unit of energy is joule. So option A will be the correct answer for this question. Okay, so from here our series is completed. I hope you have enjoyed. Okay, and if you like this, please share, please subscribe, and thank you.